By Seth Vinick, AP Photo. On Saturday night, Michael Cohen and his wife, Laura, left their hotel room at the Regency on Park Avenue and headed to a Cinco de Mayo dinner party at a friend's house uptown. It was intended to be a few hours of levity amid an unprecedented month. In the 4 weeks since a dozen agents raided his home, office, and hotel room, Cohen has occupied a surreal universe, consumed with lawyers and financial pressures, besieged by the media and the nearly ubiquitous presence of Michael Avenatti, torn apart over what this has done to his family, and approached by total strangers who offer their support for him as he walks around the Upper East Side. Donald Trump's longtime personal lawyer, who agreed to pay porn star Stormy Daniels $130,000 in exchange for her silence about an alleged affair with the future president, has spent the intervening period alternatively going about life as usual, dining at his old neighborhood haunts, La Gulu, Fred's, and stewing late into the night in his hotel room. Cohen, people close to him have told me, is a fighter who is determined to prove that he is collateral damage in a larger effort to ensnarl Trump, and that he is not going to hide or cower. Sometimes, he has friends come meet with him in one of the Regency's meeting rooms. That is not in his nature, one friend told me. None of this is normal, but he's trying to keep it as normal as he can. Cohen's attempt at normalcy was complicated recently by Trump's bizarre interview on Fox. On Wednesday, Giuliani had told Sean Hannity that Trump had, in fact, reimbursed Cohen for the Daniels payment. The next morning, he claimed that Cohen made the payments to protect the Trump family, but also noted that the store would have come out close to the election, a convoluted answer that obfuscated questions about a potential campaign finance violation. The Washington Post and the New York Times both reported that Trump had known what Giuliani planned to say ahead of time, but on Friday, Trump told reporters that his lawyer was new to the job and needed to get his facts straight, and he would be issuing a statement clarifying what he meant. Giuliani did, in fact, issue that statement, which reiterated that the payment did not violate campaign finance rules because it would have been made to protect the family regardless of the election. In March, Cohen told me in an interview, "What I did defensively for my personal client, and my friend, is what attorneys do for their high-profile clients. I would have done it in 2006. I would have done it in 2011. I truly care about him and the family, more than just as an employee and an attorney." According to people familiar with the situation, Cohen's friends told him that Trump chiding Giuliani was a signal that the president was looking out for Cohen. After all, the two have history. Cohen is one of only 46 people that the president follows on Twitter. At the end of the summer, Cohen told me that he would take a bullet for the president. But, according to these people, Cohen's friends also warned him that at the end of the day, Trump only looks out for himself. And no matter the intention of his comments, Cohen recognizes that these interviews have complicated his legal situation. They have also added to his mental strain and financial burden. Cohen has told friends that he and his wife have lost a collective 20 pounds since the raids. According to friends of the Cohens, they have been approached by numerous friends and former clients asking if they can assist during this fraught time. The entreaties have been characterized as, "You've helped us so much and taken care of us. Now you need to make sure you take care of yourself." Cohen, indeed, has been consumed with his legal challenges. The warrants to raid his home, office, and hotel room were signed on April 8, and allowed the government until April 22 to execute the searches, according to two people familiar with the situation. But agents wasted little time, entering Cohen's premises a little after 7 a.m. the next day. The warrants were also notably broad. They sought records related to the payment to Daniels, records about Karen McDougal, a former playmate who also claims to have had an affair with Trump, and any records of communication between Cohen and AMI, the media company that owns the National Enquirer, and David Pecker, the Trump confidant and proprietor of the publication. McDougal entered into a deal with AMI during the 2016 presidential campaign cycle, effectively keeping her account from publication. In the weeks since the raids, the Enquirer put a photo of Cohen on its cover under the headline, "Trump Fixer's Secrets." The government walked away with about 8 boxes of physical documents, including binders that the Cohens had punctiliously maintained, with tabs designated for each of their bank accounts and monthly statements for each one, hole punched and placed within its correct tab, according to 2 people familiar with the situation. They also walked away with more than a dozen electronic devices, cell phones, iPads, laptops, external hard drives, about half of which belonged to Laura and their 2 children. The devices contained data including study guides, photos of their kids and their friends on family vacations and posing like Charlie's Angels, and Marvel movies downloaded to iTunes. Since the government has started returning copies of what it seized to Cohen's attorneys, Cohen has been spending up to 10 hours a day at his lawyer's offices on Madison Avenue, starting at 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning, designating what they deem privileged communication between attorney and client. They are moving through the information almost as quickly as the government is giving it back to them, 2 people said. For most of his life, Cohen operated out of the spotlight, making a small fortune flipping real estate and taxi medallions before falling in with Trump. His involvement with Daniels, however, has transformed him into an unlikely pop culture curiosity. Last weekend, Cohen got the Saturday Night Live treatment, with actor Ben Stiller portraying him as a tragicomic figure, as eager to please his former boss as he is desperate to avoid prison time. Indeed, on cable news networks, his state of mind has become something of an obsession for pundits, with constant, breathless speculation about what it might take for Cohen to flip. As Giuliani said Sunday morning on ABC News, he expects Cohen to cooperate with authorities, though he does not think they will be happy because, as he said it, Cohen does not have any incriminating evidence. He called him an honest, honorable lawyer. He also said that a pardon, obviously, is not on the table, though he added, "That's not a decision to be made now, there's no reason to pardon anybody now." Cohen, for his part, is mostly distraught over the impact on his family, according to the people familiar with his thinking. "I live for my wife and my kids," he tells friends. "I'd die for my wife and my kids. And this is all ruining their lives." An inaccurate NBC News report on Thursday saying that the government had wiretapped his phone, which was corrected by the network the same day, was particularly difficult on his children, according to one person. "Once they read it, it doesn't matter if it's corrected," he has told People. "The damage," he has said, "is already done." Though he has said he's glad they did ultimately correct it, Cohen himself is grappling with the fact that, in his early 50s, his life and his business will never be the same, and that he is isolated from the people in Washington around Trump, who, he has said, have been treating him as though he is disposable. "I am sitting here in this nightmare," he has told People. He has said he has had no peace since January 2017, when BuzzFeed published the so-called dossier that made several claims about Cohen's interactions with Russians throughout the presidential campaign, claims he has repeatedly denied. Since the raids, however, and following Giuliani's media blitz, 2 people said that Cohen feels even more alone. Friends have said that Washington has made a huge mistake in hanging him out to dry. That, one person said, is a dangerous place for him to be.